And we are ETV Live, Michigan International Raceway. And I'll tell you what, get set for race number 5. You're watching it live here on ETV. This is the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series on Tuesday night. And I'll tell you what, coming from Bristol last week, Phil Juring taking a big one home. And what a race that was last week, Tracy.
Yeah, did a great job getting up there and taking that win tonight. And I tell you what, JD, I'm looking at the speeds out here in practice, and it looks like Phil Juring is right back up there on top of the board at the fastest speed at the moment, JD.
All right, Tracy Flip Robinson in the booth with me tonight. They call me the Cowboy. I'm JD Webb. Ron Day along for the ride tonight. He'll be calling the action from pit road. And I'll tell you what, guys, why don't we go ahead and take him down through the points here in the ETV Veteran Sim Racing Tuesday Night Nationwide Series here, Tracy. Sitting at the top, Alex Scribner up a position this week, finished 4th at Bristol last week, and he's 157 points to the good side. Matthew Largan, he's up a position this week also. He finished 6th at Bristol, finishing in the top 10, 142 points. He's 15 points off the lead, Tracy.
Yeah, and tell you right now, in third place in points will be that Phil Juring who won last week. He's up 2 spots this week, JD. Looking good out there tonight. And then 4th is going to be Rich Jett. Looks like Rich Jett has fallen back 3 positions since last week, JD.
You bet. And in the number 5 position, up 4 positions this week, Jason Fuchs, guys, at 121 points. He's sharing that seat with Rich Jett, 36 points off the lead. And then in 6th position, finishing 12th at Bristol last week, down a couple of spots, E.J. O'Rourke, still up in the top 10 here, guys, 40 points behind the lead.
And in 7th place in the points, or in the, it'd be in the top 3 spots to be Scott Hunsinger. Scott Hunsinger is 45 points behind our leader. And then next after him is Neil Fasakis, and he is 58 points behind the leader, JD.
And sitting in 9th, Eric Motzenbacher slipped down 3 positions this week, guys. He didn't finish Bristol where he wanted to, 22nd there last week, and he's 59 points behind the lead. Sharing that position with him is going to be Peter Bennett. He's up 11 positions this week, guys. Good run at Bristol last week, finishing 3rd. He's also 59 points off the lead. And I'll tell you what, guys, Michigan Speedway tonight, big track, wide track, fast track, looking for speeds upwards of 200-some miles an hour going down the front stretch, Tracy. And I'll tell you what kind of trouble can we expect to see here tonight?
Well, you get out here at Michigan being a nice wide track as it is. You know, you'll be looking at 3 wide sometimes entering the corner. Guys will get cars and maybe start pushing a little bit, move up and bumping the side of them, but watch for the exits for the guys to possibly get loose on the exit, JD.
You bet. And this is not a plate track. However, draft plays a very important part here as well, Tracy.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep the fenders on your car tonight, JD. That will affect you a lot out there on this track. You start damaging your front fenders, you're going to change that arrow on the front of these cars, and it's going to really push bad through the corners. So you're going to have your guys loosened up, and that push will get worse the farther in the run you go. So these guys are going to have to keep those noses clean. Use that little bit of draft on the guys in front of them, and just basically keep the car clean all night long, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, checking the chat room over here tonight, I want to say good evening to Amp Brian Barton along for the ride over there, Cassaday. Of course, ETV Bill, we want to give a shout out to him. I tell you what, he's the camera builder over here. He builds all the cameras for ETV Live. Fantastic job that he does. And I tell you what, John, the Bad Boy Wrestling, pushing the buttons for you tonight and working those cameras. Outlaw in the house. That'll be Jesse James. We'll get to him here after a while. Maybe we can get him down here in the booth. He can tell us what's coming up here on Thursday nights. In the meantime, and practice is finishing up here, guys. So I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and take it down trackside, the national anthem by the Cactus Cuties.
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, and we are back. Thank you to the Cactus Cuties, one of the best renditions of the national anthem that I have ever heard in my entire life. But I'll tell you what, Tracy, why don't we go ahead and take them on down through the lineup here tonight, here at Michigan International Raceway. This is the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racing Nationwide Series. Starting out on the pole tonight, A.J. Browning in that number 47 machine. Phil During on the outside in that number 25.
And starting third, the 90 of Peter Bennett. And starting in fourth, the 48 of Alex Scribner.
And Larry Scott on the inside in fifth position. Outside him in the number 10 machine, Robert Childress.
And starting in the 55 car in seventh position be Steve Rosner. And in eighth would be the 12 of Ryan Newman.
Sean Brown starting in ninth position on the outside, number 29 car, Randy Johnson.
And 11 would be the 72 of Jeff Dukart. And starting in 12th would be the 62 of Dan White.
Matthew Largan in 13th position. Outside him is the number 36 of Chuck Ingram.
And 15th would be the 96 of Chris Collins. And 16th would be 85 of Mark Bowling.
17th on the inside, Seth DeMerchant. Outside him in 18th position, Scott Hunsinger.
And starting 19th would be 38 of Hal Beardsworth. And starting in 20th, the 6 of Mike Costa.
Don Klein in 21st. In 22nd, Jeremy Bazemore.
23rd would be the 67 of Eric Motzenbacher. And starting in 24th, the 23 of Cecil Reen.
Jason Fuchs on the inside in 25th position. Outside him, 26th position, Harold Decker.
And 27th would be the 3 of Craig White. 28th would be 91 of Barry Jacobs Jr.
Mark Johnson in 29th position, and 30th is going to be Patrick Willman, Neil Fasakis, Brogan Lott, Rich Jett, Howard Velarde, Brian Barden, Craig Nelson, and Alan Thomas bringing up the final field there as the pace car works itself the way around here. It'll take that left-hand turn, head down pit road, and we will be taking the green flag here just shortly. And I'll tell you what, A.J. Browning on the pole here tonight. His spotter, Jesse, the Outlaw James, up in the booth. Green flag is out, and we're flying in Michigan.
Yeah, got a great start there, J.D. Pretty equal on both high and low lane. They're going into corner 1 and 2 side by side. These guys are getting these cars just wound up heading through 1 and 2. Going to be heading down that backstretch, J.D.
120 laps on the board here tonight, guys, and I'll tell you what, it'll take a couple of laps to get warmed up here at Michigan, just like the big plate track, so keep your eye on the draft working here at Michigan, looking for speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour at the end of the front stretch going into turn 1, guys. So already these guys are finding dancing partners, getting hooked up, going to make that draft work here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Phil in the 25 is taking that lead. And A.J. Browning is going to be following up there in second. and in third it'd be Peter Bennett, and fourth it'd be Larry Scott Jr., JD.
We had A.J. Browning giving it up to Phil During. Phil During going home with the trophy from Phil During, going home with the trophy from Bristol Speedway last week, Bristol Motor Speedway. So Phil During already out to a fantastic start here at Michigan. But I'll tell you what, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and that's not for another 118 laps here at Michigan. So I'll tell you what, pretty much single file. Get back here to Alex Scribner working the bottom lane down here in the number 48 machine in 5th position. But Tracy, you can race pretty much any lane, any groove on this track and make it work. As we see these guys back here, Jeff Ducard back here in 10th position, he's working the bottom line here too.
Yeah, looks like we had a pretty clean start out there. You just got to be careful. You know, you try to go into these corners, you want to make it as big of a corner as you possibly can. You'll see guys actually swing their cars out just for entry a little bit, and sometimes you'll catch that outside wall, which will really upset your cars. We got one car real loose on the bottom there, JD. Not too sure who that was, but he's able to save it, and that was Chris Collins. Man, had that car really sideways, JD. They would keep it going straight though.
96 of Chris Collins down here in 14th position, guys. At the 24 gets past him up here on the high side. And I'll tell you what, that's a nail biter in itself right there. You're doing 190 miles an hour going into the turns and gets out of shape on you. You got nothing but steering wheel to grab hold of, get her straightened out. But in behind him is going to be Mark Bowling down here in the 85 machine. And almost looked like Mark Bowling coming off the turn back there was having just a little bit of a problem as he's going through turns 3 and 4 now with the 96 up on the outside. Yeah,
there's quite a bit of racing here towards the back. A lot of, guys taking it pretty easy out there as Mark Bowling's working his way around Collins there. But up front, we've got quite a few battles up there side by side. Doing a great job trying to get every position they can, JD.
Looks like Patrick Willman might be off pace here a little bit too, guys. He went cleared down to the apron. Oh, holy cow. I'll tell you what, Willman moved up to the high line up there, and they almost came piling into him here. Willman going 3 wide here with some of these guys. Willman looks like he might be off the pace here by quite a bit.
Yeah, JD, they are really backed up there entering corner 3. They're actually 4 wide just before they went in there. But now they've got everybody back down. We got a few cars side by side. The 47, I think that's the 48 working side by side right at the moment, JD.
But I'm still a little bit concerned about that 66 machine. Patrick Millman already going down the lap, guys. So early problems for that 66 car tonight. But I think I'm being passed a note here. I have a think that the 66 car was actually served a black flag in a qualifying session and had to come in and get that cleared. So that's why that 66 machine is a lap down, guys. Something else we want to mention here tonight, and this is courtesy of Frank's Food Court. $25 gift card for Best Buy being given out today if you can pick the leader at the halfway point. So I'll tell you what, whoever that leader is going to be at the halfway point, they'll get the $25 gift card.
Yeah, JD, I tell you what, Phil During just pulling away, almost got a 1-second lead out there in front of these guys right now, JD. Got a real good handling race car here early in the race. But we do have a few people trying to move forward. I see we got Larry Scott running in 2nd place. Peter Bennett in the 90 running 3rd. The 10 of Robert Childers, he's moved up to 4th position. And in 5th is A.J. Browning. So we got a guy still making up position and moving forward here early in the race.
You bet. And I get it now. It's whoever is the leader at the halfway point here at Michigan is going to get a $25 gift card for Best Buy, courtesy of Frank's Food Court here at Michigan tonight. So I'll tell you what, checking over in the chat room again, old Hollywood O'Rourke showing up over there. Hollywood O'Rourke, why aren't you in the race here tonight, cowboy? E.G. O'Rourke of ETV fame. But I'll tell you what, good to have him along for the ride tonight. And Jason Inch, he's also in the chat room tonight, along with Scott Poor. Brian Zimmerman showing up. I'll tell you what, Brian Zimmerman, big time ETV Live fan here, watching the race here tonight. I want to take us down to the 62 machine down here, guys. Dan White, currently in 11th position down here. Dan White from a former champion from RaceSimNation.net in several series over there. I'll tell you what, I know this guy personally, hard to beat out there on the racetrack. But coming from the ARCA series over to the iRacing series, talked to him just before the race started here tonight, and he's having a heck of a time. Big learning curve, he's telling me, from ARCA to iRacing. And it's almost like starting over, he says. But Dan White currently running in the top 10, in 10th in that 62 machine down there. So I'll tell you what, good luck to Dan White from the booth up here, guys.
Yeah, matter of fact, he's forward, JD. If you remember, Dan White started right around 16th position tonight, so he's made up a few spots, just picking them off one by one. And also in 7th, you got the 65 of Sean Brown. He's moved up quite a few positions. So we got a few guys slowly working their way forward. You got Steve Rosner running in 8th place and Ryan Newman at 9th.
Ryan Newman, that's the Ryan Newman, folks, not the Ryan Newman. We want to clear that up right from the get-go. And I'll tell you what, the Ryan Newman hangs out over here with veteran sim racers all the time. The Ryan Newman, that's the dude you see on Sunday nights over there. So we wanted to clear that up right away. But I'll tell you what, pretty much single file racing out here for the most part, guys. You know, not a whole lot of action taking place here. 12 laps in the books already, and things are looking pretty good for Michigan tonight.
Yeah, looks like everybody's got a pretty good setup underneath them there, JD. We got a few guys in the back trying to move up a few spots. I just watched the 92 of Jeremy Bazemore. He just took over a spot away from that 24 car and working his way back to the front.
Watching the action down here in 17th position back here, 36 car, but Chuck Ingram working that top side coming out of turn 4 here, heading down the front stretch, and you know, it's these guys, you know, they have pretty much a lane choice up here. Any group will work here at Michigan. Some guys like running that bottom line coming down through the front stretch, and a lot of others like to work that draft coming off the wall, get them as close as possible, and work that draft coming off the wall. But I'll tell you what, Eric Motzenbacher getting past the 36 car here. Still early in the race, guys. So, but I'll tell you what, here at Michigan Speedway, 2-mile track, you know, if you lose a position here, they're hard to make up. And pit stops, Ron, are extremely important when it comes down to getting in, getting a good pit stop, and getting back out again.
Yeah, JD, ironically enough, you can sort of relate Michigan to Bristol in the fact that the high line is going to be the preferred line, or at least a little higher than right off the bottom, like we're normally used to seeing at some of the mile-and-a-half cookie-cutter tracks. And, yeah, pit stops are going to be key, and you want to make sure the crew gets everything done right the first time, because track position, believe it or not, is really going to be important.
Hard to make a track position here if you lose it in the pits, for sure. I've been here many times before, and you know, once you lose it, man, it's really hard to get it back. But this has got a green flag look to it here tonight, guys. I'll tell you what, 15 laps in the books here already. 120 laps on the board here tonight. Ron, we got some more?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the tires for a little bit. Anything pretty much after 10 or 15 laps, I'm hearing these guys are pretty much going to want to come down and take 4. Towards the middle of the race, if we get a caution, you may see some guys try to take 2 to get some track position. But towards the end of the race, last pit stop, you're definitely going to want 4. And as far as fuel goes, they're actually going to try to cut the race in half. You're going to want to pit about lap 65, and I think these guys, when they planned that, they were planning on getting a couple of cautions to help them out along the way. But like you said, good hard racing, and it looks like it's going to go green for a while.
A.J. Browning started out on the pole tonight. He's given up a number of positions, sitting here in the top 5. In fact, he's sitting in 5th place back here, guys. I got a funny feeling that his spotter, Jesse James, probably tell him, just back off down there, cowboy. Take it easy. Just kind of put it on cruise control here for a while and let that baby hang out once we get to about 100 laps or so, 20 to go mark. AJ will cut him loose. But I can imagine what JJ's whispering to his driver down there on the track. But I'll tell you what, looking back further in the field back here, pretty much single file racing all the way back. Quite a gap between Matthew Largan and Steven Rosner up here, guys. So.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, we've had a change for second place. Larry Scott in the 84 was just running in second place, was running down our leader, Phil During, but just seemed to kind of slip back there the last few laps. And now Robert Childress in the 10 has taken over the second position, trying to run down our leader tonight.
We had Phil During going home with the paycheck from Bristol Motor Speedway last week, guys. And I'll tell you what, he's sitting third in the overall, up a couple of positions this week. So Phil During looking to capitalize here at Michigan here tonight. So I'll tell you what, 18 laps in the books here at Michigan already. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take our first commercial break of the night. Hey, you're watching live Cowboy ETV Live, Michigan Speedway, the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Back, ETV Live here at Michigan Speedway, and I'll tell you what, you want to see this race again, you can catch it live over at etv-eplay.net, Cowboy. Along with that, a lot more racing coming at you this week. You want to catch Jesse, the Outlaw James, and AJ Browning. I'll tell you what a pair. Catch them on Thursday night. They're going to be up here at the Michigan Speedway on Thursday night with the official B-car split races. And you don't want to miss that action with Jesse and AJ. And I'll tell you what, Cowboy, they put on quite a show, and it's always fun to listen to those two. But here at Michigan, the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series, guys, Phil During still holding down the top spot up here in the front. And I'll tell you what, Robert Childress is slowly creeping up on him. Just a couple of tenths off, actually a couple of hundredths off on lap times. We're going to turning the same lap times here. Larry Scott getting closer as well, back here in third position. But I'll tell you what, guys, got a very green flag look to it. We might be looking at green flag pit stops around the 60 or 65 lap range that Ron was talking about here, guys. So I'll tell you what, between now and then, you know, looking for these cars to start pushing as the tire wear starts going away on them, Tracy. And we may be seeing some evidence of that already, as looks like the 85 car Mark Bowling getting side by side with the 62 of Dan White back here in 12th position.
Yeah, JD, I've been kind of looking around here, watching where the racing's happening out here, and a lot of happening was happening around Chuck Ingram there, with him and the 38 of Hal Beardsworth and the 6 of Mike Costa. All these guys working pretty hard to get what positions they can just right now, JD.
And I'll tell you what, Mark Bowling and Dan White, they've got some time together over there at the RaceSimNation.net as well. So Mark Bowling, he pretty much knows how Dan drives, and there's actually a couple other ones out here. Sean Brown's another one here at Michigan tonight. But I'll tell you what, Mark Bowling just kind of taking it easy back here and behind Dan White. Dan White, of course, we talked about here just a little bit ago, you know, graduating from the ARCA, or actually not graduating, but moving from ARCA series over to iRacing, and this is like a whole new ball game for Dan White. Dan White, tough to beat, I'll tell you, and a multi-season champion over there at RSN. But Dan White, it's good to see him out here on the track here tonight, and having a good run here.
Yeah, he's getting that car up there into about 11th position. I think he's been there for a little while now. But I did notice in 65 of Sean Brown. He was almost in 6th position here not too long ago, JD. Not too sure what happened, but he seems to lost a few spots there as Steve Rosner worked his way around him. And also the 48 of Alex Scribner. He seems to be able to got around Sean Brown. Looks like Sean Brown and them are racing really hard.
Bet Sean Brown up there in 7th position. I tell you what, probably seeing a little bit of evidence of tire wear here, guys. 25 laps in the books here already in Michigan, and I tell you what, good evidence of tire wear. When you watch these cars coming through the turns, about to center off, they start pushing up towards the wall. That's a real good indication that right side tires are starting to go away on them. But I'll tell you what, the heat builds up in the right rear tire. You got to keep that one under control, because that's the one that'll take you around if you get into a little bit too hot, Ron.
Yeah, JD, a lot of these guys were talking before the race just to keep the tires on it, because like I said, tires are going to be important later on in the run, especially towards the end of the race. But I was talking to Phil Juring's crew chief here, and he says it's okay if they can catch him. They're probably not going to get around him very easily, because he says that car is bad, fast, and built to last. So Phil Juring looking to take home 3 in a row.
All right. And I'll tell you what, Mark Bowling, we know him as smoking Tony Bowling in that 85 machine. Finally got around Dan White position. That's going to move him up to 11th. Dan back 1 to 12th. But I'll tell you, Dan White having a pretty decent night here, and I know what Dan's doing. He's probably down there just, it's a learning curve for him tonight, just taking his laps in under his belt, learning the car, and having a good time down here. But other than that, pretty much been single file racing here all night long, guys. Moving on up to 6th position, Alex Scribner. He's going past the 84 machine up here, but not a whole lot of action out here on the track, guys. But hey, let's put another plug in for ETV Live. If you think you want to watch this race again, well, guess what? You can. Get over to etv-eplay.net and get a gander. I'll tell you what, if you were at Bristol last night, you want to check that one out. What a race. And some good action there from the Real Sim Racing boys. And Landon Huffman pretty much led the entire thing. And a heck of a good race. And you want to catch that replay. It is absolutely stunning. Full 1280 by 720, Cowboy. And just crystal clear like this will be here tonight. But Phil Juring, I tell you what, guys, this cat is just absolutely hard to beat. And, his lap times really haven't fallen off a whole lot. But Robert Childress back here in 2nd position, turning about the same lap times, guys. So not a whole lot of movement towards the front. A.J. Browning, who started out on the pole, got a couple of positions back in 3rd place currently. And Jesse, the Outlaw James, spotting for A.J. Browning up there, probably passing on a few instructions to him here as the race goes on. 30 laps in the books here at Michigan, guys. I'll tell you what, this has absolutely got a green flag look to it.
Yeah, JD, we want to remind our fans to make sure they go to the ePlay site and download that HD version in 1280 by 720. It's just stunning. It's well worth the download. They're usually about 2.5 to 3 gig, but wow, put that baby on your widescreen in your living room. Man, it looks just like you're watching Fox.
I'll tell you what, ETV Live always pushing the bar just a couple of steps further. And I tell you, looking over here in the chat room, a couple other people have logged in. We want to say good evening to Hunter, #1 fan in the room here tonight. And is Robert Childress II in relation to the famous Childresses? Talked to him one night, and he's like a distant cousin. There is some relation there, but nothing to speak of. So he doesn't get any invites at Thanksgiving, if that's what you're getting at. So, but
so in other words, JD, he's not going to get the big bucket full of gold at the end of the rainbow, is he?
No, he's not. And Brogan Lawn, Ron, 30 laps in, Brogan Lawn heading down pit road. This has got to be a tire issue, I'm guessing, with our first car heading down pit road.
Yeah, JD, they were kind of running around the back of the pack, and they weren't making that much grounds, and they were getting pretty close to going a lap down, so they decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and come on in and try to make some changes to that car and hope they get the lucky dog. You know, so just trying to get it better for the end of the race.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, we won't know until a little bit later on how this is going to play out as far as fuel mileage goes. We're thinking somewhere around lap 60, 65, 125 laps on the board here tonight as Barry Jacobs Jr. In 29th position gets around the 13 machine of Alan Thomas back here in the back, guys. But a little bit of movement starting to take place out here on the track, guys, as tire wear is starting to show its face. Scott Hunsinger up here in 23rd in that 34 machine, going around the 34 car of, I believe that's going to be Richard Jett, Scott Hunsinger giving it up to Rich Jett in the 32 machine as they both come around the 38 car.
Yeah, if you take a look up towards the front, JD, the 47 of A.J. Browning, he's moved his way back up to third position, but 2.8 seconds behind our leader, Richard Childress. Robert Childress seems to be losing a little bit of time on our leaders. He's running 1.2 seconds behind Bill During. So these guys are going to have to make some pretty good adjustments to these cars here once they hit pit road. Try to find some speed to run down that 25 tonight.
We got AJ just about 2/10 off of the leader up there, Bill During, last time around, turning about a 44.96, and AJ Browning to a 45.80. So just a couple of tenths off here as AJ Browning trying to work that 47 car back up to the front here, but he's got to get around Robert Childress up here. His last time around with a 45.67. So. Tell you what, close but no cigar up here. But I tell you what, guys, 35 laps in the books here at Michigan Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take another commercial break right here, right now. You're watching live, ETV Live, Cowboy. It's the only choice. Michigan Speedway, the Veteran Sim Racers ETV Live Nationwide Series. So don't wander off. We'll be right back. Back, ETV Live. I'll tell you what, this is the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series here on Tuesday nights from Michigan International Speedway. And I'll tell you what, we want to say good evening to Mr. Harold Lowry. Harold joining us in the chat room here tonight. Of course, Harold Lowry of the famous Saturday Night Super Speedway Series here at Veteran Sim Racers. You can catch that at 9:30 every Saturday night as we move from Daytona to Talladega. Back and forth, and I'll tell you what, the airplane rides, Tracy, they happen pretty quick, but it's a lot of fun on Saturday nights at the Harold Lowry Super Speedway Series.
Yeah, I tell you what, a great racing series that is. Watching everybody run out there at Talladega, 3 wide, 2 wide, Great race, and usually puts on a great show and really good finishes, JD.
You bet. Harold Lowry sponsoring that series here live on ETV Live. This is about the third season, I believe, broadcasting with them. But Ron, I understand you might have some more information on Matthew Largan.
Well, JD, I was going to talk about Matthew Largan, number 2 in points, but we got a lot of stuff going on down here on the track. The number 84, Larry Scott Jr., is going to give up 6 spots to come in and make a pit stop. Also, his teammate, I believe, Alex Scribner, number 1 in points, got into the wall a little bit a couple of laps to go. He seemed to keep it straight and be going okay. But, you know, these guys are just definitely starting to fight the tight conditions like you were talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, 39 laps in the books, and you know, you can see it happening out here. These guys start duking it out for position up here. Chris Collins in the 96 machine back here in 25th position. He's got the, I believe that's going to be the 38 of, or the 96. Chris Collins up here with, excuse me, Patrick Woolman in behind him. But I'll tell you what. Looks like Chris Collins was having a pretty good night. Now he's coming up to Hal Beardsworth in that 38 machine. But we've got a couple of them coming out pit road here. Now they're going to have fresh tires, so tell you what, this might mix it up here after a little while. We got a few of them out here with fresh tires, the rest of them out here with 40-lap old tires on.
JD, I'm afraid I just gave Alex Scribner the ETV jinx right there. He came down pit road and overshot his pit stall just a little bit, had to back it up. But nonetheless got 4 tires and got going again. Also had the 24 come down pit road right there and get some fresh rubber and get headed back out.
All right, 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats back out on the track. I'll tell you what, spur that pony on and get her around the track here. Dan White down here in 9th position finally got himself up here into the top 10 guys in that 62 machine, but he's got Ryan Newman and I believe that's Mark Bowling up here in front of him. Bowling running in that bottom line down here. Newman in that 12 machine working the draft coming off that wall up there, that side draft, and it does work a little bit side by side going through 1 and 2 here, the 85 and the 12 car, and Dan White coming past the 12 car for position as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do a 2 pit stop night tonight. Not going to try to split this race into 2 pieces. As you see a lot of guys popping there in lap 40, but looks like we got a pretty good sized group of cars going to stay out there a lot longer on them tires. Not too sure how that's going to should affect them too much as far as in the long run if you can cut this down by 1 stop in the race, as each one of the cars that made the stop now are 1 lap down, JD.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. Bill Juring still maintaining the front seat up here. Robert Joe is chasing him down. A.J. Browning starting out on the pole here tonight, sitting in 3rd. And then in behind him, Peter Bennett in the 90 machine. And the leader pitting, Phil Juring, on his way into the pits, Ron.
Yeah, he's coming down, getting it slowed down right there to 55 miles an hour, just about perfect. I believe these guys are going to go ahead and do the 4-tire green flag, or 4-tire full tank of fuel, just like everybody else. You know, it's a little too early to be trying to play that, especially since you're the leaders. So just want to make sure you take care of the car, and he's got a good car, so you should be fast. Here we go.
You bet. A.J. Browning also coming down pit road as well. So that's your pole sitter tonight. So and this is something you want to do here, guys. You don't want to be behind when the leader pits. You get off his pace, off of his pit sequence, and it's pretty tough to make up positions back out there on the track. And of course, pit stops is always crucial here at Michigan, as you can actually lose quite a few positions here on pit road. And go ahead, Tracy. We got some more.
Yeah, our second place actually is listed as our first place car right now. Is hitting pit road as he's heading down in there and getting fresh tires. Looks like he overshot his pit just a little bit, guys. That's going to cost him some precious seconds in pit road, guys.
You bet. And I know the standings on the ticker going on across the street probably have not caught up yet. It's about a 30-second, a little more than 30 seconds around actually around 50 seconds around Michigan here, guys. So until we get all cycled through here, A.J. Browning still being shown the leader up here, but of course this is unofficial until everybody cycles around and comes across the start finish line and gets the timing marks back in sync here. But A.J. Browning being shown your leader right now with Alex Scribner, Alan Thomas, and Barry Jacobs so far. But I'll tell you what, as these guys cycle around, it will change. Actually, my mistake. Jason Fuchs is actually being shown your leader. My bad. My own stats didn't change with all of that. Well, I believe we're back on the mark now. Jason Fuchs, Mark Bowling, Jeremy Bazemore being shown up in the front, but still cycling through pit stops. Still a lot of guys making pit stops. Jason Fuchs peeling off. He'll be coming down pit road as well. So I tell you what, between lap 40 and lap 46 so far, we're seeing pit stops. So this is definitely going to be a 2 pit stop race here tonight for a lot of these guys, Tracy.
Yeah, I thought a few of the top guys would have stayed out longer. Maybe tried to push it to that 60 lap, but maybe, I'm not too sure if fuel might have been an issue why everybody was stopping. As I see that the grid has come back around, is now back. Looks like it's proper now, and it's Phil Juring back to the lead. And he's 4-second lead over A.J. Browning in second, followed in third by Richard Childress. Robert Childress, sorry.
Robert Childress, yeah, you know, I had actually had to manually sort my positions up here. Usually they cycle around, you know, when they cross the timing lines, and it all kind of sorts itself out. But had to push my own darn button here tonight. But tell you what, looking over here in the chat room, they are starting to pile in here, guys. Travis Solenberger along for the ride tonight. Good to have you aboard with ETV, with the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series tonight. And of course, Scott Poor still hanging around with us. Jason Inch, and he's along for the ride tonight. And Hunter Harold Lowry still hanging out with us. It's good to have all these ETV Live fans along for the ride here at Michigan with us tonight, Ron.
Yeah, guys, just want to give you an update. We saw Brogan Lawn seemingly make an unexpected pit stop earlier, and I think they just found out they had some serious mechanical issues, and they pulled it behind the wall tonight.
All right, behind the wall, up on the hauler, and how do we say it here on ETV, Tracy?
Headed for the barn.
Yeehaw, headed for the barn. And I'll tell you what, Brogan Lawn, not his night here tonight at Michigan. That's unfortunate for him. Tough luck for Brogan Lawn. But I'll tell you what, back out here in the front, man, I'll tell you, Phil Juring sure getting everybody a lesson here tonight. A.J. Browning, Robert Childress, Alex Scribner, Steve Rosner making up your top 5. Sean Brown, what a night this guy's having. That 65 machine down there from RSN Frame, driving for True Gravity Racing Team here tonight, guys. Sean Brown having a pretty decent night with his run. I believe Sean started in the top 10. He started 9th, guys. So doing a good job staying up here in the top 10.
Yeah, doing a very good job. These guys got spread out quite a bit here, JD. We've got actually 2 cars within 6 seconds of our leader, but we got pretty much the rest of the group from 12 seconds back. So I'll tell you what, Phil, unless there's a caution, Phil Juring is doing a great job out there with a huge lead, JD.
That just goes to show you, Tracy, the Alex Scribner now 12 seconds behind the leader, and that little bit of time he lost on pit road by overshooting his pit stall, that really hurt you.
Absolutely it will. And I'll tell you what, I'm checking over here in the chat room, and Jason, I'd be glad to do that for you, but I think you're already in there. So I guess okay, yeah, we got you taken care of. So Jason Inch looking to step in tonight, and I guess he's one of the race officials here at Michigan helping out. So, but halfway, we're 9 laps from the halfway point, guys. So I'll tell you what, at the halfway point, from courtesy of Frank's Food Court tonight, $25 gift card for Best Buy, going to the leader at the halfway point. And right now, I'll tell you what, it looks like it's going to be that Phil Juring in that 25 car, guys. but A.J. Browning still about 4.2 seconds back. And I tell you what, spur that pony on there, A.J. You got about a 4-second gap to catch up to that 25 car.
And I tell you, he's got a great setup underneath that car, JD. He hasn't relinquished much time to anybody out there. Which we got a pretty good race out here, looking in the back and seeing where everybody is positioned right now, and trying to make their way forward. We got some pretty good racing back here. I'm trying to see who this is here with my cameras I got going on, and I've seen 2 cars working side by side. Looks like it's one back from Don Klein, Jeff Dukart, and Eric Mottenbach here, or the 13 car working pretty hard. 13 must be a lap down on JD.
Yeah, I believe so. Actually, the 16 car of Brian Barden and Craig White, Harold Decker, Barry Jacobs Jr., Cecil Rain, and there's a whole list all the way down to Hal Beardworth. These guys are all 1 lap down. I don't know that they have come in and made their pit stop. That would be the only reason why they're a lap down at this point, Ron.
Yeah, guys, I think everybody's pretty much had to go ahead and make a pit stop at this point. But like they just, a couple of those guys talked to them before the race. They just weren't that great off the truck, and they were hoping they could wrench on it during the race and get it right. They may need one more stop just to try to get it there.
54 laps in the books here, guys, already. 120 laps on the board here at Michigan tonight with the ETV Live Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series. And I'll tell you what, you want to watch this baby again, you can. Just get on over to etv-eplay.net, cowboy. And I'll tell you, the one that we did last night from Bristol, stunning is the word, the buzzword around the ETV Live studios over the last 24 hours. Absolutely stunning. And I'll tell you, you got to take a look at that. It's a pretty big download, but I'll tell you, we have not seen anything better come across the screen here at ETV Live. So etv-eplay.net. This one will be the same, I'm sure. 1280 by 720, full HD resolution, cowboy. I'll tell you what, they're just absolutely beautiful looking picture, even on the big screen, as John the Bad Boy Westling was talking to us about it earlier.
Yeah, I like to take these replays after we're done with the race, JD. I go flop my big butt on the couch. I flop her in my big 55-inch wide screen, and I make sure you guys did your job right.
All right, I'll tell you what, John the Bad Boy Westling, you know, if it weren't for him, we'd still be looking at a 320 by 240 little bitty screen in the middle of a huge web page somewhere, I'm sure. But I'll tell you what, always pushing the bar just a little bit further, and we've been doing that all along here for the last couple of years. Of course, here lately working on some sound, some new sound equipment, getting all that straightened out. And I'll tell you what, I think we've got the best thing going out here. Cecil Reen in 29th position out here, guys, giving up a position to Steve Rosner. Actually, see, now my car's getting all tangled up here again for some reason. Oh, geez. Actually, I think that was Harold Decker and Cecil Reen duking it up. But Cecil Reen is a lap down with Harold Decker, Craig White, Brian Barden back here from about 26th position on down. Now, Chris Collins in that 96 machine, guys, sitting on pit road. Now, he's being shown 6 laps down, so don't know whether he's got any damage on that machine or not, Ron, but Chris Collins looks like he's been sitting on pit road here for quite some time.
Yeah, they're just trying to get it right for him before they send him back out. You know, they have a minimum speed rule, especially at these big tracks like that. So they're planning on getting back out there just to roll around for a few laps in case he can pick up some other positions.
You bet. And Jason Inch reporting that he got his new HD monitor hooked up, and the playback looks real good here from Michigan Speedway. So we're always happy to hear that. But tell you what, I want to try to see if we can't get Jesse James down here in the booth here for a minute. I know he's spotting for A.J. Browning here tonight. A.J. running in second. He's about 4.5 seconds off the lead up here from Phil During, who's pretty much got the most laps led here at Michigan tonight. As sounds like we got some problems with the 29 car.
Yeah, Randy Johnson just slapped the wall off of turn 2 and made a beeline for the infield. Somehow he saved it, JD. I don't know. That's a nice piece of driving. That's all I can say. I'm pretty much speechless.
Tell you what, I got to pull back on my monitor here, and he's looks like he's coming through turn 1 and 2, running in that center line there. He's got a good line going in, but as he gets to the exit of the turn, just gets away from him a little bit, up into the wall, sideways, hangs onto it, down on the apron. I tell you what, there is a good hands move here tonight, Cowboy. The 29 machine, Randy Johnson, hanging onto that machine, keeps it back up on the track, and keeps it pointing forward. I tell you what, outstanding maneuver by Randy Johnson, keeping that car out of trouble.
Yeah, JD, I'm kind of looking back in here. We've got quite a few cars, quite a real good drivers, kind of outside lap down now. Looks like we've got Seth the Merchant. He's gone a lap down. Brian Barden, Craig White, Harold Decker, Barry Jacobs Jr., Cecil Reen, Neil Fescus, Alan Thomas, Hal Beardworth, all a lap down right now, guys.
All right, I'll tell you what, Phil During going home with the $25 gift card from Best Buy tonight. That's courtesy of Frank's Food Court tonight. Phil During, who's basically led all the laps here in Michigan, except for the first one that went to A.J. Browning. But congratulations to Phil During at the halfway point for leading that lap here tonight. But I tell you what, A.J. Browning tried to chase him down. Looks like he's dropped about 2/10 off his times here. But A.J. trying to chase him down up here, Ron.
Yeah, guys, just you were asking about Chris Collins earlier. I think decided that they weren't going to be able to fix it, and he's went ahead and went to the garage area, and I think they're going to be done for the night. Along with Patrick Willman, I think they were starting to lose a cylinder, so they just pulled it back on.
All right, up on a hauler and headed for the barn, as we say here on ETV Live. I'm still working to try to get Jesse James on the radio up here. Watching Randy Johnson at 29 machine back here in 14th position, guys. The little mishap he had with the ball, no harm, no foul, as he's working over, looks like that was a 92 machine, I believe, that he was going around here. But, and I understand that, I think we've got, I think I heard that back door open and shut. Jesse, is that you just walked in?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, Cowboy. Hey, man. AJ got the pole here at Michigan tonight, and but he's been chasing Phil During down here for about 60 laps or so. What's going on with AJ?
Yeah, man. Well, we, AJ got a little jammed up. Got a little bit of a pick earlier. A little bit of lap traffic situation. He had to back her down. That cost him a little bit of time, but Phil's just, man, Captain's out there doing his thing tonight, guys. He's cruising along real good right there, man, and he's gonna be tough to catch for sure. We're sitting here trying to crunch numbers and figure out what kind of things we can work on pit strategy, but no doubt, if this thing stays green the rest of the way, Phil During is gonna be tough to beat tonight. But, those guys come in here basically working as teammates, got a very, very similar setup. Want to give a shout out to the actual builder there. Phil During does a lot of work on these setups, but Dustin the Vet Montgomery, you guys have seen him on ETV winning before. That dude is a genius with the wrenches, man, and he actually put these cars together for the most part. So, yeah, both drivers, man, feeling really good. It's been a great race so far, and just enjoying our little Sunday drive right here on a Tuesday evening.
Go. I'll tell you what, Jesse the Outlaw James from Thursday Night Thunder fame, and also the Road to the Pro. And Jesse, I understand that John actually gave you and AJ the A-Class motorhome down here, dude, for Thursday Night Thunder, while Tracy, me, and the rest of the gang down here in this little two-wheel tent trailer. What's the deal there?
Don't be hating, man. Don't hate the player, just hate the game.
I tell you what, always good to have Jesse in the booth, and I tell you, no better show than what you see here on Thursday and Sunday nights. Ron, you got something?
Yeah, Jesse, are you for hire? Because I could totally use a crew chief on some of these Sunday night deals.
Oh, I'm definitely not the crew chief. They don't let me play with the wrenches. Well, I got play school wrenches. I'm still learning, but they let me get up on the box, twist up the doobies, and look at some boobies out there in the stands, and every now and then say, "Hey, Carlo, car outside." So that's all I'm here for, guys.
Yeah, man, I was just wondering, both of your cars are running good tonight, so putting on a good show.
10-4, man. Thanks. And hey, JD, man, anytime, dude, you can come kick it in the camper, man. If you can handle the steaming veggies, man. Come kick it anytime, man. Bring corn dogs and Coronas, buddy.
There you go, corn dogs and Coronas. Get them out and get them on ice. I'll be there. I'll tell you what, thanks AJ for joining us up here in the booth. Catch Jesse the Outlaw James. Catch him and AJ on Thursday Night Thunder here on ETV Live. That's the B-Car split races, the official races here at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, Sunday Night Road to the Pro. At 8 o'clock on Sunday nights too. But I'll tell you what, always putting on a good show with these guys, Jesse the Outlaw James, and of course AJ Browning. Of course, they call AJ Mr. Excitement. If you've ever heard the shows here on Thursday night, you'll know why. But what a pair those guys put on a pretty good show out here. But I'll tell you what, 68 laps in the books here at Michigan Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a quick commercial break. I'm going to get me a cold one from the buffet table back there. Hey, you're watching live, ETV Live, Cowboy. It's the only choice. The Veteran Sim Racers ETV Live Nationwide Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back live, Michigan Speedway here. This is the ETV Veteran Sim Racers Nationwide Series for the next 30-some-odd weeks, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, some fantastic racing happening here tonight. Tony Bowling and Mike Costa here have been trading positions back and forth, 8th position back here. Tony Bowling going around Mike Costa. It was a lap ago when we were in commercial that Costa had gone around that 85 car of Mark Bowling. Mark is starting in 16th position here tonight and working himself up into the top 10. And here comes Mike Costa back down here on the bottom. I tell you what, these two are going at it. 72 laps in the books here at Michigan, and the fight is on between the 85 and the number 6 car down here, guys.
Yeah, it looks like the 6 is pushing up a little bit in the corner, JD. Just about got into the front end of the 85 of Mark Bowling, but they were both able to keep it going straight, and that 6 is now pulled out about 2.5 car distance gap on Mark Bowling right now. It looks like his next challenger is going to be that 75 of Matthew Largan.
Matthew Largan from ETV Live. Tell you what, Matthew does an outstanding job calling the actual pit road up here in the booth every once in a while. But it's always good to see Matt behind the wheel down here, mixing it up with these boys. Barry Jacobs Jr. up here, 29th position in that 91 machine. Looks like he's fighting it out with Harold Decker up here. Harold Decker going to win on that one. Is the 91 kind of taking a back seat, working that top side up here. But tell you what, a little bit of action happening back here in the back. Phil During out here in the front, though. I tell you what, he's making the distance on A.J. Browning, now 6.1 seconds out in front. But Robert Childers Jr., Robert Childers the second, slowly catching up to A.J. up here to try to get that to second position here tonight. But guys, looking over here in the chat room, and I don't know if you want to lock that back door or not, but Hollywood O'Rourke is looking for a way up the stairs and into the room back up in here. So I don't know about that, guys. Might want to go back there and lock the door.
Oh, just missed the latch, JD. I'm sorry, he stuck in before I could lock it.
No, man. Oh God, there goes the buffet table. A.J. O'Rourke, Hollywood O'Rourke. Oh, watching Robert Childers getting into the wall here. Hang in there, bud. Third position down here. That number 10 car getting into the wall, coming off of turn 4, or turn 2 rather, as he heads down into turns 3 and 4 here. But looks like Robert Childers Jr. just overdriving it into the turns, takes a piece of the wall with him as he's desperately trying to put that machine up there close to A.J. Browning for second position. But Hollywood O'Rourke, E.J. O'Rourke in the house. E.J., how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, guys. What's going on up here at ETV?
Welcome to the booth. I know it's not the only time that you ever get up here, of course, is usually when you win a race or whatever. But how come you're not down there tonight?
Well, the rule is you have to be on here at 8:30, and I was on here a little bit before that, but my computer froze, so I technically was not in the server, so I did not make the grid for tonight's Michigan race. But it's all right. I'm up here watching the race with A.J. Browning and Phil During up there with Jesse spotting them, so it's all right. Having a good show up here, and I'll be there next week for the All-Star race at Talladega.
Got the All-Star race coming up in Talladega, and I'll tell you what, it'd be fun to see you down there on the track. I know what you're capable of doing down there, my friend. I know what you're capable of doing up here in the booth too, but I tell you what, you might want to call the caterer and get more food back here on that buffet table as E.J. O'Rourke scrambles back there and picks up his fork and spoon.
Yep. Yeah, this is a great race, man. I think we've gone caution-free so far, it looks like, and hopefully next week I can bring my 41point.com Lily Chucking Chevy Impala to victory lane next week. I only got one win this season, so it'll be really cool to win an all-star race and get that die cast, man. It's really cool what Chuck Ingram and everyone over here at VSR does, and of course everyone over here at VSR and ETV for broadcasting these awesome shows.
What's that is that Outlaw calling? Is that Outlaw calling, EJ?
He might be.
I think somebody's calling you, EJ.
Yeah.
All right, E.J. O'Rourke and Hollywood O'Rourke up here, so keep your eye on that 41point.com next week. But meantime, back out here on the track, nothing new, nothing different, everything the same. Phil During still out there in front by 6.3 seconds, guys, over A.J. Browning and pole sitter tonight. Let's move on down the field here a little bit. Steve Rosner sitting in fourth position with Alex Scribner. They're both about 17 seconds behind the lead guys, so quite a bit of distance between those two and Childress and Browning up there in front. But let's talk about Sean Brown here for a minute. Sean Brown, the last couple of races, you know, if you ain't got no luck at all, there ain't nothing to be given out. And Sean Brown certainly has not had any luck here in the last couple of races. But I'll tell you what, looking pretty good here tonight in that number 65 machine.
Hey guys, we just had a couple of cars coming down pit road here. It looks like they're trying to get an early start, and they're going to try to short pit. We had the 92 of Jeremy Bazemore come down. He got 4 tires and a full tank, and he's going to be good to go to the end of the race. Also had points leader Alan Scribner come down, and he'll do the same and be ready to go, or good to go to the end.
All right, tell you what, this may be. I don't know if this is going to play out to a fuel mileage game or not. I'll tell you what, most of our pit stops happening around lap 40 to 46 here. For the most part, Phil During, your leader, pitting on lap 43, so we know he has to come down at least one more time, guys, for fuel. So, and we also know that A.J. Browning, who started out on the pole, currently running second, also pitted on that same lap. So we know that both of them have to come down and get fuel. The question is when. And I tell you what, with 81 laps in the books, 120 on the board here tonight, still a lot of racing left here at Michigan. So it's just a matter of when the crew chiefs call them down there on pit road, guys.
The Outlaw just gave me the word that AJ's coming in right now, and Phil will be in the next couple of laps.
All right, AJ Browning in that number 47 machine, making his way down pit road, guys. So tell you what, it'll be interesting to see what he takes here. 81 laps in the books, and it's going to leave about 40 some odd laps left here at Michigan tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of stop that AJ makes, Ron.
Yeah, definitely going to be a 4-tire, full tank of gas, not taking any chances here. 2 tires just not going to cut it tonight, I don't think. We also had the other monster Chevrolet come down and get a pit stop doing the same thing as his teammate. So, yeah, these guys are getting ready to go to the end, and, you know, if you're going to make those adjustments, they're going to have to do it right this time, because crew chiefs probably aren't going to see these cars again.
And I'll tell you what, the 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for that 47 machine, and back out on track he goes. That's AJ Browning trying to chase down that 25 machine Phil During up here. But Jesse James calling the shots for him down there, so we'll see what AJ can put together for Phil During up here. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm watching the 38 machine of Hal Beardworth have a pretty decent run here tonight too, guys. Hal Beardworth, who's going to finish second? Hal having a pretty good run here at Michigan, as looks like we've got a number of cars making it down pit road. So
yeah, JD, I tell you, our leader is hitting pit road. I've been kind of watching him out there. He's got an 8-second lead. Put Robert Childress back into the lead here while the 25 hits pit road, and Childress will be coming in this next time by. And then look for Steve Rosner and Sean Brown. Will be the next one. It's not like a caution possibly came out, guys.
First caution of the night, guys, coming out here at Michigan as we cycle around here and try to pick it up. I think there's one down on the front. Oh, Alex Scribner, guys, I'm hearing is rolling around here, and looks like it just got loose on him. That banana peel coming off turn 4 here, guys, as Scribner's going through the turn, running in that center lane down here, and the back end just breaks loose, John, and around he goes, trying to hang on to it. But I'll tell you what, let's throw it on down to bad boy John West and catch it up on the E-plate machine.
See if we can catch us. He's going to come in turn 3 and 4, kind of high, making a late arch here, right about the middle of the track here, guys. And I think you're going to see him come off this corner. He's getting loose. Oh, he had to save once, had to save twice here, guys. Comes back down on the apron line, comes back up, smacks the outside wall. Wow, what driving here. He saved it twice. Couldn't quite do it the third time there, guys.
Wow, tough night for Alex Scribner. I'll tell you what, you know, watched it a couple of times here, and man, he had that car saved, Cowboy, but I tell you, that pony just got loose and went away from him. But you know, I could see him sawing back and forth on that wheel down there, Tracy, and you know, maybe it was just well, I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going on inside that car. You know, you're trying to keep it on a track, keep it up the wall. But Ron, you got more?
Yeah, just going to say the pit road is definitely going to be busy under the first caution of the night here, and it actually came for a tough break for a couple of guys. Matthew Largan, second in points, got caught a lap down. He had just made his pit stop, and so the leader right now, Robert Childress, he'll give up the lead to come down pit road, so he'll probably restart right behind the leader before all that went down, which was the 25 Phil Journey.
All right, now here's the deal. I think we had some cars down there on pit road when the caution came out, so I believe we might have a bunch of them that got caught a lap down. Is that going to be the case here tonight, guys?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at, JD. You got Larry Scott Jr., just mentioned, Matthew Largan, Brian Barton, Mike Bowling, Eric Mossenbacher, Ryan Newman, Mike Costa, all these guys, and tons more. We're running on the lead lap all night and had a good shot for a good finish. So it's going to be tough for them to get back on the lead lap. Wow,
I'll tell you what, yeah, with 85 laps left here, or actually 85 laps in the books here at Michigan, with about, 35 laps or so to go here, but you know, 120 laps on the books here at Michigan, 85 of them in the books already. AJ Browning and Phil During been duking it out up here in the front. Of course, Phil During just had a perfect car all night long, guys. They already came down and made their pit stop, and I tell you what, AJ and Phil are going to start deep in the field here, still up here in the top 10, running 8th and 9th with AJ out in front. So I tell you what, this could set up a whole new ball game here tonight at Michigan. But I tell you what, first caution of the night here, coming on lap 84, the 48 car bringing that one out. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break right here, right now. You're watching live, ATV Live, Cowboy, from Michigan Speedway, so don't wander off. We'll be right back.